This episode is brought to you by Lake Martin Marketing Group, your full-service creative partner for branding, social media, websites, video production, and everything in between. From small businesses to political campaigns, we're proud to partner with businesses who gets noticed and drives actual results. We're based in the historic Tallapoosa County Bank, where we bring big ideas to small towns. Are you ready to elevate your brand? Please visit lakemartinmarketing.com or follow us on social media. Hey guys, welcome back to the Vault. My name is Liv, and today I have a very special guest with us today. He is the founder and owner of Dalton Insurance, and so Tyler Dalton, welcome to the Vault.
Thanks for having me on today. Pumped to be here.
Of course, yes. Thank you so much for being here and wanting to tell your story, your upbringing, your road to Dalton Insurance, and also the importance of community and family and just being very tight-knit. And so thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited to do a deep dive into that today.
Yeah, pumped to be here. Beautiful setting, so excited.
You mentioned that you grew up in a very small town and that shaped you into how you see people and businesses. So can you really share a specific moment from your childhood that really taught you the value of relationships?
Yeah, so I grew up in Dothan, Alabama, so I wouldn't say it's super small town, but my grandparents grew up in Slocum, which is a relatively small town, and they had a pharmacy there. It's been there for 120 years, and my grandfather was just part of the community. My grandmother was part of the community, so seeing that engagement, seeing them interact with people, just that extra mile service, just going, door to door for delivery of medications, that really struck out to me. Just seeing that connection, seeing the care meant so much to me growing up, and I've kind of kept that with me throughout and just trying to continue on, as we get so busy in life, as we have so much access to technology and everything. I think what's missing so often is that personal connection.
Yeah, no, I agree. And a lot of businesses out there, they forget the importance of why you do it. When you start a business, it's, yes, of course, it is for your personal, but at the end of the day, it's how you value your customers and how you build those relationships. I know for me, relationships with my clients are the number one important thing. It's the reason why I do it. And I know it's the same for you. And so I think it's really cool that you really value, and even outside of business, you value those friendships in your personal life and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the connection and doing it for others is all about it. I mean, the money aspect, that is a byproduct of it. But those connections, I had a text today from a client who I've helped with insurance the last few months. I'd helped her get some insurance as she's aging into Medicare, but she just texted me today that she's in France. She's on her, retirement dream vacation, and she was just kind of expressing the joys, and we connected over that because I love to travel as well. So that's just something it's just not really a tangible thing that you would normally think, oh, you sell insurance, very cut and dry. But again, it's the relationship, it's the connection with these people that really makes it worthwhile. Because if you're just coming in, clocking out, and just simply selling a policy, yeah, that's boring. You'll lose motivation. You'll lose the drive to do it. So I think just continuing to have those relationships and build it over time has just been very special.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that. You said that you've always had an entrepreneurial itch about you. What in your background made you have this entrepreneurial spirit in you?
Yeah, I think there's a very subtle influence in our family. Like I said, our family has owned a pharmacy or been in the pharmacy business for 120 years.
Wow.
I wouldn't say that they were, budding entrepreneurs, but I mean, they had a small business, nothing crazy, but just family business. It's always been there. I wouldn't say I had a crazy, cool lemonade stand or anything growing up, but I always remember listening to Dave Ramsey, going to bed, learning about interest, accumulation, investments. I just love that as a 9 or 10-year-old kid. I wanted to get in Financial Peace University, even though everyone else that was in it was in their mid-30s at our church and stuff. But I just always liked it. I liked to get involved. I started investing in stocks early on, and my brain has always just been geared towards that. And whether it's been in in business or whatever, but I'm always just thinking about business or opportunities, and I just love it. It just fires me up. I mean, even last night, I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning learning how to create websites and different things like that. So I was creating these tools and these applications, but I've always just kind of had an itch for something. And again, it's not really money. That's just a byproduct if it works, but I just like doing things to try to create value to help people and because it's fun.
It is fun. It is really fun. Sometimes I'll make like businesses that I know probably won't like come to
Mhm.
fruition, but I just love like just writing business plans for
Yeah.
something that I know probably won't like come to, like I said, fruition, but it's exciting. Like it fires like something under you.
Yeah, you got to try it out. And again, it's like you test the market, you see, and if there's a value, if there's a need for it, it'll work. If not, then maybe, your product was off, your pitch was off, but it's like at least you're giving it a whirl. You're
Yeah.
trying it, you're using your creative energy. And again, um, typically, if you're doing it correctly, you found a need in the market. You're trying to fill that hole, fill that gap, and create a product. And that's what I was doing last night. We've got software in the pharmacy world that's massively missing. And I figured out some tools that could help bridge that gap and put that together. And I was just kind of on a hot streak. I was like, I've got to get this done because I need this product. It doesn't exist. I would pay for it, but ultimately it's like I got to create it myself. And I think that's what most entrepreneurs end up doing is like, look, I know that we need X. It doesn't exist, so I'm going to figure out how to make it happen.
So you blended your background in pharmacy and with business and finance to enter insurance. How did that background give you such an edge into coming into the insurance industry?
Yeah, and I think most people who are in insurance would probably say, "Well, I never dreamed of being in insurance when I grow up." And I would probably say the same thing, right? I went to college, I have 2 degrees. I've got a medical degree, in biomedical sciences and a pharmacy degree. Uh, and I still practice pharmacy to some degree and we still help manage our pharmacies. But early on before I even started pharmacy school, we started helping people with their Medicare plan reviews. And, as community pharmacy owners and just in that field in general, we continue to try to help our customers just to provide extra service because they have choices. They can go anywhere they want to. So we started doing Medicare reviews years and years and years ago. Did it for free. Did it just to help them out. Just you know, 'cause I thought it was cool. There's a cool app that came out, so we were kind of cutting edge on that. And then that led into when I started pharmacy school, there was a program where we started doing Medicare reviews as well. And that kind of led me into the path of kind of getting the wheels turning about insurance. I didn't really think much about it as far as like a career or actually making money from it until many years later. But that just kind of got the idea in my head. And, since then, I mean, probably 15 years ago before pharmacy school, we were helping people with Medicare. And then many years later, someone was like, you know what? You can actually get licensed and you can get paid to do that. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. That makes sense. So you're still helping people. And it's a way to, again, make a little bit of money on the side. But that kind of just started it. And then with the pharmacy background, it was just a no brainer because we deal with insurance every single day. We deal with claims. I mean, probably health insurance more than any other. People are using it. Car insurance, Lord willing, you're never using it. Home, Lord willing, you're never using it. Health insurance, you're getting it because you're getting prescriptions every single month. You're going to the doctor every few months. So we've had a lot of experience in that field, and this is just one more way to use that education as far as understanding the plans, understanding the health side, the medical side, and then being able to just relay that to customers. Because it is complicated. Health insurance, there's a lot of nuance. There's a whole bunch of moving parts to it. A lot of drugs people don't know how to pronounce what they're for. And so I try to, draw a fine line between crossing the two. When I'm doing insurance, I wear my insurance hat. When I'm doing pharmacy, I wear my pharmacy hat. Very clear distinguishing between the two. But I feel like I could just use that background to help explain things and help educate things as best as possible.
You said you knew that this was your calling after helping someone save money and improve their overall coverage. Could you go into a little bit of a detail about how that came to fruition?
Yeah. So, like I said, for years we just helped people, and I could see the impact of them, kind of small scale, changing their plans, getting something that's going to keep them at that pharmacy when they were there. That was fun, exciting. But it wasn't until I did some further evaluation, a plan switch, where I saw, hey, you're saving thousands of dollars a year, which is a lot, or that's a lot of money. if you're saving $2,000 to $3,000 a year, it goes a long way. So seeing that small little example just made a huge impact, and that kind of really sparked everything for me to continue on and like really make it worthwhile to go ahead and fully get licensed, create an agency, build out the company, and that still happens to this day. It's like we're able to help people save a tremendous amount of money, get great access to care, and continue on. So that little one example has turned into hundreds and thousands of examples because those opportunities exist. If you're trying to do right by the client, trying to help them out, and it's just awesome.
You said that integrity and education set Dalton Insurance apart. What does a day to day look like whenever you're working with your clients?
Yeah, so I would say integrity and education is the rock bed of everything that we do because there are a lot of bad actors out there, especially in the Medicare space. There's a lot of telemarketers out there taking advantage of older clients. I talked to one lady recently. She said she got 200 calls a day from people trying to get her to switch her Medicare plan,
Oh my gosh.
which is just astounding. And that's just troubling. And that's a whole different rabbit hole that needs to stop. But I want to make sure that every client we deal with, they understand exactly what they're getting into. We fully explain every part of the plan that we can to the best of our ability. Again, it's a lot that we go through in a call, so I don't expect them to be experts at the end, but I want to make sure that when they leave a consult with us or end a phone call with us, that they are like, wow, they explained everything. That's always my goal. I try to treat every single person like it's my grandmother, my parent, and I tell them that. I'm like, look, whatever we're doing today, that's the advice that I would give my parents if they were in that same situation. And I think that has showed off, and it shows like reputation is everything. Our family business, again, pharmacy's been there 120 years, hopefully another 120 years. And same thing with the insurance business. All you have is your reputation. If you ruin it, if you don't do right by a client, that'll come back to bite you.
Right.
And so, we're just always continually trying to do right by everyone, educate. We do routine seminars where we do free education. We train people on Medicare. We work with senior centers or even doctors or nurses to help educate them and their staff. And even in the pharmacy world, there's still a lot that they don't know about insurance and education that we can provide to pharmacists to better help their patients throughout Alabama. So those two things, it's just evergreen and continually evolving, continually learning. Things are continually changing, and people need to know at least the basics about this stuff, especially as they're aging into Medicare. It's the wild, wild west, and so it feels good to help people understand that better.
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you share the story of a client who thought she couldn't afford coverage and how that experience impacted you personally?
Yeah, we actually see this every single day. It's like people come in, they're on a very fixed income, they got very little savings, and they have a very little bit of money coming in from Social Security. And that's probably 50% of the people that we work with is very fixed income people. And again, they don't know what they have access to. They don't know what's right, what's wrong. They've heard commercials. They've gotten text messages about all these shiny objects. And we try to cut through the riffraff and say, look, those are available and those might be a good fit for you. But we try to break that down and keep it simple for them. So, seeing it every day, seeing people who have $200 or $300 tops in their bank account and figuring out a way to get them coverage, good coverage, and get them access to help, whether it's through a Medicaid program or it's through a program that gets their prescriptions at a huge cost savings. Those things are just incredible, and it feels great to help people out, knowing that they're not skipping their medications. Because we hear those stories a lot. Like they'll go to the pharmacy, it's $600 for their prescription, and they can't afford that. And
Right.
so knowing that there's programs that are available to them that they can get access to and continue to take their medication as prescribed, it's just a great, great feeling.
That is a great feeling for sure. You said that delegating has been one of the hardest challenges as a business owner, and I can completely understand that. And I think a lot of business owners out there have trouble delegating because I know for me, I like to like take as much on as I possibly can. It's hard. It's kind of hard for me to just like give out a task. And so, what's a task that you handed off that's made your business stronger?
Yeah, that's a great question. Delegation is a continuous struggle, right? It's like as a business owner, you're an operator and a visionary, and especially as a starting out entrepreneur in a new business, you want to do everything. So for me, it's just the follow through and the admin work of the business. especially in the insurance world, is 'cause there's a lot of moving parts. You've got a bunch of different things you've signed them up for, making sure they all get approved, following up with the clients, making sure they got all their cards, etc. So handing that off to my associate has been, game changer because again, those tasks take a ton of time. They're extremely important because if you policy doesn't get approved, then that's a bad situation, right?
Right.
You got to make sure everything gets done. So turning that over has been super helpful, and it allows me to continue to do what I like to do, to work with clients, and to kind of do the forward facing situation where I could either do community events or things like this. But handing those off has been a struggle, right? It takes time to do it. You're finally ready to let it go, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, so it's like I don't want to hand it off until I know someone can do it. But at the end of the day, most people can probably do it as good, if probably not better, than you can. It's a little humbling, but that's just been a struggle, and I think that'll always continue to be the case, but
Yeah.
one step at a time.
Yeah, no, I agree. It takes a lot of willpower to just be like, "Hey, can you do this?" And so I know for me, like whenever, I needed, some loads off my plate, it was really hard to ask for help, because I feel like you and I are similar. Like it's hard to ask for help because I feel like we have a FIO mentality, figure it out. And so, but at the end of the day, like whenever you trust like your employees so much and you know that they'll do a good job, that's also like a stress off your plate as
Mm,
well. And so I get the struggles, but also like the benefits from it as well.
yeah.
You described seeing Dalton Insurance becoming a household name in the Southeast. What's the first step in making that vision happen?
Yeah, I think it's waking up and doing the next best thing and doing right by the client every single day. The business will continue to grow. We've had really great organic growth through word of mouth, referrals, providers. Marketing will help it to expand that. And I think just continue to do the right thing, like I mentioned earlier, just doing right by the clients, providing good education. I feel, and that's why we started because I feel like there was just a huge need in the market for just good quality and like integrity behind what you do in the insurance space, in the Medicare space. It just needed someone to do that. So I think that will continue to expand. And again, like I said, hopefully we'll be a big name in the Southeast in the Medicare space and just continue to get it out there.
You said that family keeps you motivated. How do you keep yourself grounded while also, being present with your family and try not to get too overwhelmed with pharmacy and also insurance?
Yeah, again, that's a continual balance. You wake up, try to get a bunch of work done before the kids are awake or before my wife's awake. Go to work. So when I'm at work, I try to be at work. When I'm at home, try to be at home. Leave the phone in the car. Try to leave the computer away while everyone's awake, and then after that, try to separate it. But continual balance to be fully present, whether I'm here or there. And so, that's important. I want to be there for them as a father, as a husband. I want to show up over and over again with my clients. I want to be there for them. They need me. So doing right by everyone. It's never perfect, you know what I mean? But you try to show up, be there for everybody.
Yeah, I know it's a struggle sometimes to balance, being married to a business and also having a family. And I know for me, that's something that I had to work on because I'm my mother's daughter. My parents are entrepreneurs, and so, but they, their love language is working together. And so I figured, oh, I could do that too. But in this case, like, I have to separate, leave the like you said, leave the laptop in the car or at work and be fully present, because sometimes I'll catch myself like on Facebook, seeing what my clients are doing.
Yep.
And then I'll like catch myself doing that. I'm like, oh no, I'm watching a movie with my boyfriend and my dog and my cat. I need to put my phone down. And so, but it's nice just like having that like mental reminder of like, hey, you're here, be
Yep.
present.
Yeah, and you have to be very intentional about it. You have to think
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's not something that comes natural for me, at least. And trying to separate the two. And as a business owner, you can work around the clock. That's
Mm-hmm.
the pros and the cons. You can kind of work when you want, but you can kind of work all the time if you just slowly tinker on it all the time. And that'll kind of wear you down over time. And you really want to have time for your personal, whether it's, physical or being with friends or, getting out and doing different things, just to get us a break from work. Again, if you're in marketing, you're always looking at what people are doing. You're always
Mhm.
checking in on them. It's a good excuse, but it's like, you know, you're still kind of always like subtly on tuning in. But yeah, you just have to be intentional. Shutting it off is harder than
Mhm.
you think. But yeah, trying to leave those things away, tucking them away has been helpful.
Yeah, and I feel like our minds are always like going and be like, okay, I feel like we can do this now, or I feel like I could do that, or oh gosh, I forgot to do this. I need to do that. But golf has helped that.
Mm.
I took up golf,
Okay, cool.
and so
It's a nice way to clear the head,
it
and
is.
get out. You're in the sunshine. You're in the open air. You can think. It's good to brainstorm and kind of have an open opportunity to think, or just not think about anything. So
Yeah,
it's been good.
yeah, for sure. I'm not good at golf yet,
Mm.
but I was a softball player, so it's kind of there, but at the same time, it's not. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do an episode of at the golf course
Okay.
and see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, don't film me doing it because I'm usually in the woods. But
I I'll probably hit it like 10 feet in the air, but it'll probably go 3 feet forward. It'll be a pop fly. For anyone wanting to get into insurance, what's one advice that you would tell them?
I would say seek out a mentor. Whether and someone who's been in the game for a while, who understands what's going on, the nuances of it. There's a ton of different types of insurance out there. There's a million different ways to hang your hat on it. But yeah, find someone who has the quality of life that you want, that has the character and the moral values that you want to follow. Go spend some time with them, see how they operate, maybe even go work with them, and then you could potentially branch off and do your own thing. But you know, I'm a big fan of R&D. Rip off and duplicate. So figure out someone who's done it. Don't try to be the first one to do it ever, but follow the footsteps of those that have done it well, and either partner with them, mentor from them, or just spin off and just borrow what they've done well, and take it and try to perfect it and make it a little bit better. If you see that need in the market, try to do what they've done, and spin it off to something even better.
Awesome. Well, Tyler Dalton, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been super interesting to learn about the insurance world because I had no idea about all that goes into it. And so thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And if anyone wants a copy, we have a free Medicare book. So if you can text me 334-489-3624. Just text me book, and I'll send you a copy of our Medicare 101 book, where we break down everything, keep it easy for you. But I'll be glad to send that to you. So,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
cool. Thanks so much.
And thank y'all for watching.